In the 21st century, in the world of smartphones and social media, a young girl still lives as goddess in the middle of Kathmandu. She never attends schools, she never walks, thousands falls on her feet for her blessings. She is called Kumari, a living goddess in Nepal. Behind this sacred image lies a human story, which is about how religion, politics, social psychology designs a unique concept in the name of God. This Kumari tradition started in 17th century in Malla dynasty. Legend says goddess Kalechu Bhavani used to play dice with the king. Once she was offended by the king, she promised that she will only return in the young child form and she vanishes. But historically, the story served a political purpose. They want to keep the Hindus and Buddhists united. So this Kumari is a Hindu goddess chosen by Buddhist priest, and she'll be worshipped by Hindus. So this is not just a faith; it is a statecraft disguised as spirituality. The selection of Kumari follows strict rules. She must meet 32 traits, right from her eyes to her teeth to her voice. This selection process is called divine perfection. And also her horoscope must align with the king's, and her courage will be tested by making her spend a night among the buffalo's head and the blood. This is just to make sure that she is courage enough to take up the challenges. The chosen Kumari expected to be calm and detached. The quality symbolizes power and control. Once the girl is chosen, she stops being a girl and becomes a symbol. Her freedom ends once the worship begins. She is not allowed to mingle with other children. She is not allowed to touch the ground. She is not even allowed to decide what her day has to be. When acts of worship becomes a rule of control, every ritual becomes a wall, separates her from the outer world. Sociologists calls this as ritual imprisonment. Kumari's isolation is not divine. It is a institutional loneliness to preserve a illusional holiness. Society celebrates her as a goddess, but it refuses her basic right, the right to live freely. All this rituals worships ends when she bleeds, declares impure when her body becomes mature. The belief says that the god departs, but the real reason is the god is not the one who departs. It is the patriarchy which rejects womanhood. They say they worship Shakti, they worship a lot of Hindu gods who are women, but in reality, they are not ready to worship a woman. When the woman is mature, they want the women to be women, go back to her places. This ritual replacement is not a sacred transition. It is just they refuse to see women pure when she become a human. And there are a lot of myths in the name of Kumaris, especially Kumaris should not get married. The person who will marry Kumari will die, and this will bring a lot of disaster. But nowadays, a lot of Kumaris who are living a normal life, they are studying, they are getting married and leading a happy life. No divine wrath, curse, or death. Only a silent collapse of superstitions. These superstitions or these practices or myths were always about controlling people over fear, and now it is started collapsing. Even today in Nepal, this Kumari system exists, but it is as a cultural exhibit, not as a spiritual necessity. And also people started questioning about the human right, and they started questioning about this system, and there are a lot of reforms are getting implemented in it, but still the core idea stands. A young girl's body and life has been used to establish a collective belief. We worship innocence because it is easy to manipulate and control, but we fear maturity. It gives us rationalism, it gives us question against this practice which says you are taking the control of the human child in the name of ritual, and you are taking back her freedom, you are taking her back her childhood, in the name of this age-old tradition. The living goddess is not the proof of God is living among us. It is the proof that man can turn any belief into institution, even it is at the cost of taking someone's childhood and happiness. In that sense, Kumari is not a divine mystery. She is just a mirror reflecting the ugly power dynamics of the society, patriarchy, and religious fundamentalism.